Hey everyone, this is Krish aka Aviator 51. I'm coming to you with a review of another pilot gadget. This time it's Garmin D2 Mach 1 Pro. Garmin recently released its next iteration of the pilot watch, D2 Mach 1. So this is considered the Pro version of the pilot watch. The original Mach 1 was released almost 2 years ago. It actually took a shift from the display point of view. Garmin moved away from the trans-reflective display to an AMOLED display with the Garmin D2 Mach 1. We're not only looking at the review of the Mach 1 Pro, but also going to be comparing with the original Mach 1. I've been using the original Mach 1 since almost 2 years, since when they introduced back in May 2022, and I actually really love it. And now I'm thinking if I should upgrade to the Pro version, so I went ahead and bought a Pro version. Full disclosure, Garmin did give me a slight discount on the Mach 1 Pro, but all the opinions that I state in this video are mine. So with that, let's get started. From the hardware point of view, the main differences between the Mach 1 and the Mach 1 Pro are the size itself. Mach 1 is 47mm in diameter, whereas Mach 1 Pro is about 51mm in diameter. On the thickness wise, they are relatively similar. Mach 1 Pro is slightly larger than the Mach 1. Additionally, with respect to the display, Mach 1 Pro has a slightly higher resolution compared to Mach 1. Other physical differences between Mach 1 and Mach 1 Pro are Mach 1 Pro uses the Garmin's newest heart rate sensor. In addition to that, Mach 1 Pro also features an ECG app, which requires a hardware modification to the device itself. Continuing on with the physical differences, the most significant difference between Mach 1 and Mach 1 Pro is the addition of the flashlight. Let me show you how it works. You double press the light button. Now you can see the flashlight. So now I changed the flashlight color to red. You can have the white flashlight as well. Let me go ahead and turn the lights off and show you what I'm talking about. As you can see, this light is so powerful that it can pretty much illuminate the whole room. The red flashlight is also very powerful and it is actually very useful. Mach 1 Pro comes with a nice vented titanium band, whereas Mach 1 has an option to get the titanium band, but the standard version comes with this leather band. These are the two standard watch faces that came with the watch, and you can actually customize the watch face. Well, let's talk about the price. Mach 1 costs about $11.99 USD for the leather band version and $12.99 USD for the titanium band version. Mach 1 Pro costs about $13.99 USD for the titanium band version. When it comes to the aviation capabilities, both of them are very similar, except for a couple of differences. One thing that I already point out, having the flashlight, having the red color flashlight as well. So that's a very useful feature when it comes to aviation. The night shift mode. The watch face basically turns red. So this is very useful if you are flying during nighttime to preserve your eyes. You have an option to change the night shift to start after sunset. That's what I usually have. You have 3 colors to choose from: red, green, and orange. In addition to that, Mach 1 Pro also has a couple of new features that Mach 1 does not have. Mach 1 Pro has 2 additional glances that are suited for aviation. One is the jet lag advisory. So this is especially useful if you are a pilot traveling abroad. 2, if you have avionics in your aircraft that support Garmin's PlaneSense, so this widget supports that. My aircraft does not have a PlaneSense feature, so I don't exactly know how this functions. And let's talk about the battery life. I've been using the Mach 1 for the past 2 years or so. I've been getting about between 7 to 10 days of battery life, depending on the number of GPS-based activities. Mach 1 Pro advertised battery life is 25 days, which is pretty impressive. So in essence, there are 3 big differences that actually matter between Mach 1 Pro and Mach 1. So one is the battery life, 25 days versus 11 days, that's the twice as much. 2, the flashlight. 3, the night shift mode. Honestly, the night shift mode should be a standard feature in all Garmin pilot watches, don't you agree? Garmin, if you are listening, please update the software with the night shift feature to other watches as well. I hope you're finding this video useful. If you do, please like and subscribe to my channel. Please support me by supporting Flying Ice Glasses. Flying Ice makes sunglasses and prescription glasses specifically designed for pilot comfort in mind. These are prescription glasses with sunglasses attachment. The sunglasses attachment attaches to the glasses magnetically, and it's easy to remove during low light conditions. As a thank you, you get 10% off when you make a purchase using the code aviator51. I have all the links below. Alright, let's go ahead and walk through some of the watch features, starting with the glances. So glances are quick widgets. Right now it is not connected to my phone, that's why it's not showing the weather. I do have various aviation alerts on. In this case, the watch is crashing. Okay, we are back. The watch has rebooted twice. I think they still need to address some of the software issues there. Okay, so the weather widgets, which I really like, the airport information, it shows whatever the nearest airport is or whatever the airport of your choice. It shows the frequencies. So in this case, there is an issue. The tower frequency listed as 127.2, that's actually a secondary frequency. I am not sure how Garmin is picking that tower frequency. That may be something that they need to work out. Other useful widgets are sunrise and sunset. And also keep in mind that you can have a sunset or sunrise time display on your watch face. You can also have alternate time zones. In this case, it is looking at India. And of course, it has three sensors, the ABC, altimeter, barometer, and compass. So the altimeter uses the nearest barometric pressure from an airport. It pulls the barometric data from a meter. It also has several health and fitness type features. So steps, floors climb, heart rate, and also pulse oximeter. So this is not a new feature. Even the Mach 1 has this feature. And body battery, sleep score, not do a great job last night. And HRV status, stress levels, music controls, and weather. So this is the general weather, not an aviation specific weather. And it also scheduled workouts and things like that, any notifications. There is a new feature called a sleep coach. It tries to tell you how much sleep that you actually need based on your training needs. So this is the plane sense. That does not work for me because my aircraft does not have plane sense supported avionics. In additional health and fitness features like the VO2 max, the jet lag advisory that I mentioned to you earlier. Alright, let's talk about the apps. So apps can be activities that you would like to record using your watch. When you press the start button here, it will show a list of apps. All of these apps are very similar to any previous models of the D2 watches, including Mach 1. So you can kind of go through the various screens. You can also do a flight planning, and if you have a Garmin Pilot, create a flight plan using Garmin Pilot and export it to the watch, and vice versa. It has maps that are downloaded offline to the watch. You can actually select the region that you wanted to download. You can have custom maps and things like that. And also one of the screens in the Fly app is the SpO2. So keep in mind that for pulse oximeter to work properly, you need to have a very stable conditions. If you are bouncing around, for example, in the turbulence, the pulse oximeter may not work very well. Okay, so this button, direct to button. So this looks up your GPS and picks up the nearest airport. So once you select your airport, you can either tap on the airport or use the buttons and then hit direct to. So now it shows the direct path to the airport. So another aviation specific feature, this is also included in the D2 Mach 1, is the radar or the NextRad. So of course you need to have the NextRad coverage to be able to work. So I have a shortcut. I always found this feature more or less a gimmick. It is a lot easier to pull up your phone and look up the radar. Because you have to have an internet connection to be able to pull the NextRad data anyway. But it's a feature that's available on the watch. Note that Mach 1 also has that feature. Okay, so there you go. We have the NextRad data pulled up, and I can zoom out and see what's going on. Okay, so other useful aviation features, again this is also common with the Mach 1, is the alerts. There are several alerts that you can set up. For example, altimeter alert. You can set up, for example, if you are flying high and your oxygen is low or about 12,500 feet, it will send you an alert saying that hey, you need to have your supplemental oxygen. Cross track alerts. So this can be customizable. You can set the cross track, or if you're off track by a certain distance, it can give you an alert. One of the useful alerts that I typically have is the fuel tank reminder. So in my aircraft, it's a low wing aircraft, so I have 2 fuel tanks. I typically have this turned on so that it will automatically alert me to switch the tanks. So another feature that I forgot to mention when we discussed the Fly app is the auto fly feature. So when you go to the Fly app and then you press the left center button, you will go into the fly settings. So here you can do a customized data screens and again alerts and power mode, map, routing. So what AutoFly does it, if it detects a change in pressure corresponding to 500 feet per minute, the Fly app will automatically enable and it will start tracking your flight. Starting, and then you can set a timer threshold like 30 knots or something like that. So once you land, you're taxiing and the timer will stop, so saving your flight activity. So far I've been really liking this watch. Biggest question is, would you upgrade from Mach 1 to Mach 1 Pro? To me, it is a worth upgrade because of the battery life and the flashlight and the night shift mode. But if you are considering getting either of the watches, I would recommend go with the Mach 1 Pro. It's not only because the newer model, but also has more useful aviation features. If you have any specific questions, please feel free to put in the comments. If not, I will catch you guys in the next one.